Welcome back, everybody, to the AnythingOU Podcast with your boy, Chris and Drew. As always, I'm your host, Christian Williams. I got my main man, my co-host, Drew England. Drew, how's it going?
Oh, it's good. It's a great day to be a Sooner, man.
Hey, but real quick, Drew, before we get in this video, we've got to tell them about our sponsor at www.hornsdownshop.com. Hey, if y'all want to go pick up a couple of your cool Deshaun White t-shirts, even a couple of really cool Horns Down t-shirts. I know we've got a lot of cool stuff going on. Some of the ideas they've sent us that's out there and that's coming is really, really cool. So they've got Stoops Goat. You know, you can support Deshaun. All the stuff that's popping up right now is their t-shirts as well as a bunch of others. And you can even support us too. So we would really appreciate if you guys go click the first link in the description, check them out, and
get you that If Lost, Return to the Tailgate shirt.
Yeah, hey. If Lost, return to the tailgate to be a part of that Lot 18 crew, repping the t-shirt at the tailgates this upcoming football season. We would appreciate it. And yeah, let's get in the video. Welcome back, everybody. We have our special guest of the day, the punter for the Washington Commanders, Mr. Tress. Brother, how you doing?
Dude, it is my pleasure. So thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, you're, for sure. Welcome.
Our first current NFL player. So this is awesome.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah. That's always one of my favorite things. Anytime I get introduced or asked to go speak somewhere and they'll say, hey, we have a professional athlete coming to speak to us. That rolls off the tongue better than punter. I just feel like,
hey, punters are people too, huh?
Listen, man, I'm a full-blown spokesman for that. But I just feel like, professional athlete rolls off the tongue a little better than punter, and I know there's some with punters.
We'll continue that campaign for you. All right, we'll plug it. We'll keep it going.
I'll take
it.
Yeah.
Hey, so tell us about your life and just growing up. Your family, and just as far in depth as you want to go into it.
Yeah, so grew up, born and raised in Tulsa, Oklahoma, 918. Grew up in the Union high school program, and it was really cool. Kind of my story on how I got started with football was I was always known, and this sounds super douchey coming from a guy talking about whenever I was a little kid, but when I was a little kid, I was known in soccer for kicking the ball all the way down the field. Like I'd pull the trigger from midfield and just let it rip and see if I could shoot it into the goal from the middle of the field. Well, after soccer practices, my dad would put the football on his toe. Like he would hold it on his toe, and we would see, me and my soccer teammates, how far back we could go and kick the football over the crossbar of the soccer goal. And so whenever I started playing Pee Wee football, our assistant Pee Wee football coach was our assistant soccer coach. And in the Pee Wee ranks, you get 2 points for kicking a PAT instead of 1. And that assistant coach was like, hey, Tress is known in soccer for having a pretty big leg. So in 5th grade, I started kicking field goals and never looked back. So that was kind of my upbringing. Always, me and my little brother and my older brother as well, we always just played a ton of sports, and just something that we loved. Is just, still to this day, it doesn't freaking matter what it is. Like it could be ping pong, cornhole, golf, football. I freaking hate it. So I'll just try and find a way to win if I can. So
yeah, that's awesome. So that's a great segue into my question is, being recruited as a kicker and a punter, when did you realize that was something that you could do, as far as your future and to get a scholarship, and then now ultimately where you're at? Talk about that process and what that was like.
Yeah, it's actually, I think you guys are really going to dig this story. I don't know if I've ever shared this story publicly, but coming out of high school, I didn't know if I wanted to play baseball or football in college. Baseball has always been my favorite sport, still to this day. Here in a couple of days, I'm going to take my son to a Nats game, and we're going to go watch the Washington Nationals play. I've always loved baseball. Now that I play football, I've moved to slow pitch softball, the real man's game, which is just awesome. I didn't know what I was going to do, and I wasn't super, super sought after coming out. Like I was a top 10 kicker, top 15 kicker in the country, but I wasn't really that sought after. And whenever you kind of crack some of these like kicker, punter, long snapper ranks, a lot of times what happens is you just get flooded with like questionnaires and with camp invites to colleges. And so there was a couple of schools where like, man, the head coach, like Steve Cragthorpe, I don't know if you guys remember that name.
Oh yeah.
Steve Cragthorpe was at Louisville, and he would like text me, and I just felt so big time. And I'm like, holy crap. Like Steve, I used to go to the Tulsa games.
Yeah.
And Steve Cragthorpe coach. And so like Oklahoma was never really on my radar. Other than this one invite, and not by choice. I wanted to be a Sooner so bad, but they just weren't really looking. And I got this camp invite for an Uwe von Schamann kicking camp. And guys, I'm embarrassed to say my mom made me go. I have not talked to one Oklahoma. I was also going to TCU that week. I was going to Louisville that week. I was going to Tulsa that week. And I think there was one more, maybe Okie State or something like that. And so,
hey, thank you, Mom.
Yes, Mom makes me go. And guys, I'll never forget, we go into the indoor facility, and I'm kicking, and man, I'm kicking really well, like hitting the ball well. I started punting some. And then I remember Uwe von Schamann leaving the camp. Like, it's his camp, and he just leaves and then comes back in, and he calls me over. And now I'm a senior in high school, gonna be a senior in high school, so I don't really know what's going on. And he goes, hey Tress, I want you to come over here, stand on the side of the field, just wait for a second. And not 10, 15 minutes later, just drenched in sweat in a like Bill Belichick cut off hoodie sweatshirt, Coach Stoops comes strolling in, and I'm just I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh my God. So we go over to, there's the whole camp going on one end of the field, and me, Uwe, and Coach Stoops going to another side of the field, and I just kick by myself in front of Coach. And he I end up kicking really well, and he goes, hey Tress, it was great meeting you, bud. The NCAA rules, he wasn't allowed to call me at that time, so he goes, here's my number, I want you to call me on Monday. And so we're doing a photo shoot for our high school cheerleaders poster, the senior poster. And it's like a red carpet theme, and me and my buddies are all dressed in tuxes for like paparazzi, where we're acting like taking pictures. And so I'm with two of my best friends in the car, and I go, dude, Coach Stoops wanted me to call him today. Like, should I call him right now, like while you guys are in the car? And they're like, dude, heck yeah, I call him. So I put him on speakerphone. I call him, and he goes, hey, Tress, how are you, bud? I said, I'm good, Coach. How you doing? He goes, good, good. Hey, we'd like to offer you a scholarship to come play football for us. And I freeze. Well, my friends start screaming. I get it off a speaker. I'm like,
be quiet.
Yeah. And so I'm like trying to compose myself. And I was just like, hey, Coach, thank you so much. It's an honor. Could I have 1 week to decide? I just remember my parents saying, no matter who offers you a scholarship, say you want 1 week to talk about it, pray about it, think about it. Longest week of my life. I could have told him as soon as we got off the phone, I'm in. But yeah, so that was kind of my journey of through high school and kind of deciding which path I was going to take, the whole recruiting process. And then, oh my God, am I glad I'm a Sooner for it. That's just
well, it's funny because you're not the only specialist that has kind of taken that path. James Winchester, who's having a great career as the deep snapper for the Chiefs. I mean, hey, it's a route that if you're good at kicking and punting and specialist, it's a route that is definitely, something that people need to look into if so hopefully they can get a little inspiration from you guys,
Yeah, thank you, man. It's just so specialized that it really takes that focus from somebody recruiting you or a coach or something like that. But yeah, dude, that's spot on.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So Tress, one of my favorite questions to ask for all the OU athletes we've had on so far has been your favorite story. So has there been any Coach Smitty stories or anything Bob Stoops related besides your recruitment when you freaked out on the phone? Has there been any story that just you think of OU and like, oh, like, yeah, that's the one?
Yeah. So I would say really two. So just my whole experience, my redshirt freshman year of getting to play in the Cotton Bowl against Texas, and they had Colt McCoy. So it was like, it was playing against Texas. Like it was not, oh, Texas is back, Texas. No, this is like Texas. And so like playing Colt as a true freshman, just being like Jordan Shipley's back deep, returning. Yeah, that whole experience, nothing will top that. Other than that, my two kind of funnier stories that I'll always remember, my senior year, they used to always put our kicking net right by the Texas fans. And so I go there, and the Texas fans would just roast you and roast you and roast you. And then I remember coming over at the beginning of the game. We just got the ball. I'm going to warm up in the net. And this Texas fan goes, Tress way again? I swear to God, you've been punting since 1995. And I didn't.
Oh, that's good.
Like, playing for 4 years straight. There's probably some people that are like, oh my God, it's like, how old is this dude? How long has he been here? And then this is, once again, I know I'm sounding a little braggy here. Let me start by saying, if you line up any of these guys and I have to foot race any of these dudes in a 40, I would be torched. Not beat. I would be torched. So Kenny Stills, Brennan Clay, and little scatback Roy Finch. If you guys remember, little 22.
Oh yeah.
So my claim to fame and what Schmitty loved about me was the little change of direction drills, like the stop and go, and probably just years of baseball. That was my jam. I'd go up against anybody. So we had this thing that was the 60-yard shuttle, 10 back, 20 back, 30 back. No, 5 back, 10 back, 15 back. And I could hold my own in that. And we kind of had like this, like heats and then a finale race. And I had to race against Roy, Brennan, and Kenny because they all won their heats and I won my heat. And I freaking beat them. Like we line up, I'm nervous and I get them. But mind you, if we line up and run straight, these guys would demolish me. But man, I could cut and go back and forth. And so Kenny Stills, it pisses him off. He's like, hey, run it back. I want to go again. And of course, me, I'm all cocky at this point. I'm like, yeah, let's go. I'll freaking win again. Let's do it. So Schmitty's on the end, Schmitty's on one end. Then I'm obviously racing. And then Roy, Brennan, Kenny's on the other end, and then the other strength coaches. So I come out the block, 5 back, 10 back. I can see I'm in the lead, and I hit the 10-yard marker to cut and go back, and my right hammy goes with it. I mean, bam, just shot, and I hit the ground, and I'm laying down, and I look up, and I just see Schmitty looking down at me, and he goes, "Sniper got you, dog."
Sniper got you, dog. Yeah.
So I had a torn hammy, threw a little bit of spring ball and came back, and thank God I was good to go. But that's always what other than making sure I don't miss any of my times, that's what I always think of whenever.
Was it the kicking leg?
It was not, man. It was the
all right. So we got that was good. Okay,
that's right. I should have said, my right leg landed on the right leg. So it was the plant leg. I'm good.
Absolutely. So you talked about your favorite moments, favorite games. Who is your roommates, guys that you hung out with a lot at OU? Talk to us about that a little bit.
Yeah. So my roommates that I really remember the most was my sophomore and junior year. As you guys can probably tell, I run my mouth a lot, so I need some serious backup in case I get in any trouble. Sophomore and junior year, I roomed with Ben Hayburn, James Hanna, and Stephen Good. Stephen Good was a 5-star tackle we had out of Paris, Texas. I think he's like a professional wrestler now. He's just a monster of a man. 6'6".
Yeah, I've seen pictures of him lately, and he's a grown man.
Yeah, set every powerlifting record. And I was so we had this coffee table that I'm sure was probably Legos, not IKEA. It was like what you could break it so easily. And I'd come in and I'd just throw the coffee table and I'd go, "Steve, let's do it." And he'd just blast like some metal music and come out of his room down the hallway of our apartment, and we would just wrestle right there in the living room. And I look back, I'm thinking he could have killed me. I don't know what I was thinking. So, but still to this day, Ben Hayburn is the one that I've stayed really close with, and still one of my very best friends, was a groomsman in my wedding. He and I just hit it off at freshman orientation, been tied ever since. And then in the summertime with workouts, I roomed with Landry Jones. Then oddly enough, kind of just by proximity in the locker room, one of my good buddies and workout partners through a couple of summers was DeMarco Murray. He and I just always hit it off, got along really well. And then that whole locker bank that we had in that area, Blake Bell, Tom Ward, Trey Millard, those are just some of my good buddies. I still keep in touch with Trey, and he and I, all the families, we all hang out in the off seasons together. So
yeah. So once your time at OU was up and everything like that, we just saw the draft not too long ago, and guys going where and stuff like that. We had a lot of OU guys. What has your NFL journey been like? What was it like getting that call and realizing, hey, I'm about to be a NFL, professional?
Yeah, that's a great question and a great story, because I hadn't shared that in a while. Somebody just asked me that just in a conversation the other day, and now that I got the kids, man, I act like I'm a pretty tough dude, but dude, I'm getting soft. I cry over everything, things like that. And it's a really crazy story looking back. I was just sitting there, a couple of teams had called. I was hoping I'd get my name called on that final day of draft day, and ended up going as an undrafted free agent to Chicago. And I didn't punt very well my first stint in Chicago. I wish I had done better. And I got offered a really awesome job in Oklahoma City, and I was engaged to my wife Bree now at the time. And I was like, man, I think I'm just going to take this job. I wish I had punted better, but it is what it is. And I had actually texted my agent. I had said, hey, thank you so much for giving me a chance. I'm going to take this job. I'm done with football, but thank you so much for believing in me and giving me a chance. And then that next week, family, friends, my wife just kind of encouraging me, hey, just keep practicing, see if it hits one more time. And I'm just living on my parents' couch, the guy who married us couch. I'm like kind of all over the place, just working out, staying in shape, doing what I can, keep punting. And Chicago signs me back. I get cut again. and when they got this time, the second time in Chicago, dude, I was knocking the friggin' cover off the ball. Like they had drafted a punter, so I kind of knew where they were going. But Robbie Gould, the longtime kicker in the NFL, still kicking for the San Francisco 49ers, takes me out to dinner the night that they drafted Pat O'Donnell, who's now punting for the Packers. When they drafted Pat, Robbie took me to P.F. Chang's. And I remember we're sitting there and we're having the appetizer, and he's like, dude, I just wanted to come out. I wanted you to come out. I wanted to encourage you. Every day that you come out to practice, you need to embarrass this dude. Your mindset has to be you are punting for your job every single day, because they're just waiting for you to frickin' fold. The first day that you fold, they can be like, oh, look, there he is. And dude, I just learned this edge on like how to play. I mean, dude, it's just nut crunch time all the time. And I found that edge being backed up kind of against a wall, I guess you could say. And so when they were calling me in to cut me, it was Coach Mark Tressman, Canadian football legend, and had a little stint with the Bears as well as some other spots. And he said, hey, Tress, 4 teams have called about you. And, you can expect a call soon, but, thank you so much. We're going to go with Pat, the punter that they drafted. Thought they were kind of just petting the dog as they put it down, like, hey, heads up, some teams might call, but, thank you so much. And dude, we're driving home. Bree and I, now newlyweds, driving home in St. Louis, about the halfway point from Chicago to OKC, and 703 area code. You guys do fantasy football? That waiver wire is a real freaking thing, dude. I am a waiver wire claim. And so dude, the craziest part, I get claimed off the waiver wire and they say, hey, we're flying you out. Huge storm in Oklahoma, big surprise. Yeah, huge storm, get delayed, land in Washington Dulles at like 2:30 in the morning. All I know is the rookie shuttle leaves the hotel at 5:30. Huge delay. Scout that's supposed to pick me up falls asleep. I'm laying. I've got my backpack on the outside bench at Washington Dulles, and I'm just laying there with my phone on loud right by my face, just closing my eyes. I don't know where to go. I don't know. I don't have the hotel name. It's 2:30 in the morning. Everybody's asleep. The scout finally calls me back at like 3. He's like, hey, did you land? I was like, yeah. Like
just chilling out here on the bench. No big deal. Taking a little nap.
Yeah, just say you fell asleep. It's no big deal. And so, and I'm not lying. I go home, I go to the hotel room, take like an hour and a half nap, catch the rookie shuttle, meet my new special teams coach. And he says, Tress, we had 2 punters here. One of them was not cutting it. So we cut him and brought you in. Heard you're a great punter and a good man. You got 10 days. You punt better than the other guy, you get the job. Wow. And that is no lie, guys. That is no lie. Exactly how that conversation went. He's like, there's one more guy here. You pump better than the other guy. You get the job. And
Wow.
it is crazy to say that was 9 years ago, and I've been here ever since.
That's awesome. That's so cool.
It
That's
was
nuts.
pretty surreal looking back, and just very thankful. It's been a lot of fun.
So speaking of, looking back, you've been there, you've been cut, you've thought that you were done with football. So that leads me to a question. What are your plans after when it's officially over for you? What are your plans after football?
Yeah, so the NFL offseason is real. All you have to do is to make sure that you don't come back overweight and you don't lose your job. Other than that, you don't do anything else. So when my wife was working and we didn't have the kids yet, me and one of my good college buddies, and also Ben Havern was a part of it too, made a couple of board games, had a blast with that. It was really a lot of fun. I wrote a couple children's books. Just once we had kids, we got all these books as gifts. I was like, dude, these books suck, man. Like, what the heck? Like, what is going on? And so I just sat there one day on my notes on my phone and I wrote one. And then there was a girl here local that was a big Washington fan, paid her to illustrate it. And my kids have it upstairs. Bree, my wife, laminated all of it. It's kind of like in a little book upstairs. I've kind of always enjoyed that creative aspect. I'd like to go down that route potentially one day. Then other than that, I really dig kind of like real estate stuff. I've got some close family friends that are involved in it that have I bore the crap out of them with a ton of questions over some coffee, and I'm kind of interested in that. But I could tell you one thing I will be doing is chilling though. I will be fishing. I will be on the golf course. I will be out, but yes.
Hey, you hit me up. We'll go play golf. Christian's a golfer too. We'll all make it happen.
Done.
Done. That's awesome. So I know everybody, and we try to, the last couple people that we've had on after post spring game, post spring, all that stuff, and all of you guys being back, former players, everything like that. What was that spring game experience like? And what do you think about the future of the program and the start and the beginning of the Brent Venables era? What just talk about all that and what excites you the most about this new era?
Yes. So I got to start by saying the first time I brought my son to the stadium and he's like, Daddy, is that the stadium? I was like, no, buddy, that's the Palace.
Oh,
and he said, and this was like my bad douchey dad coming out here.
Like, son, we got to teach you.
He was like, why do they call it a Palace? And I was like, because the Kings play their son. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just so like being there, like being back. And I felt like we used to have a ton of people at our spring game, like in the freaking rain, in the wind. But oh my God, that spring game, like I could not believe just looking out and seeing and just watching the fan. And so obviously the just crazy gut punch exodus that took place at the end of the season last year was just like, it was just something that doesn't happen to Oklahoma. Like everybody's sitting there going, wait, what just happened? And so with everything that took place, me and all, like we had these group texts of me and all my friends, like some former players, and then just all of our freaking fans and friends. And like, I just kept saying, if we could get BV back, and we're about to make this transition to the SEC, and we're going to bring back this dude whose hair is actually on fire all the time, like the Hercules movie with Hades, freaking James Woods, just boom, 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 boom. Like BV is that dude. And I am so for that. When I saw that we were hiring him, I was just beyond jacked. So fun fact for you guys, in the NFL locker room, your alma mater is everything. Like, just like somebody will be like, hey, where'd you go to school? And if you don't say something blue chip, the first words out of their mouth, trash. Like, trash. You just get, and so obviously, like where we're all from, like back in Oklahoma, everybody just says OU. Well, I've come to realize there's a lot of different quote unquote OUs out there. Now there's only one.
There's only one,
obviously. But dude, just in the locker room, somebody asks you, hey man, would you play college ball? And just the pride I have to just say Oklahoma. Like it just stops people. And I love that. The further and further I'm removed from my playing career at Oklahoma, the douchier and douchier of a fan I become of just the Sooner born, Sooner bred. So yes,
yeah.
The house shuts down at whatever time the Sooners kick off on Saturdays, or I tell my buddies like they're going out to dinner and there's a night game. I'm like, no, boys, I got to get back up to the room. The Sooners are on. Like, dude, it is. Yeah, we drink the Kool-Aid for sure, and the kids are now drinking the Kool-Aid as well. They get it. They're in it.
That's how. That means they're being raised right. Hey, I got one last question for you. It's a real fun one for you. Favorite food?
Favorite food, like of all time?
What is your favorite food?
Lasagna.
There you go. Wow.
I
don't think we've had that.
That's great. Yeah. And then another little fun one. If we want to get more like into it, what about your favorite cereal?
Ooh,
Lucky Charms.
All right.
I was gonna say, I feel like you're a Lucky Charms kind of guy.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Good. Yeah, that's good.
Do you guys always ask those too? Like, what the heck? We're going.
Oh yeah.
Deep OU. Hey, hold up. What's your favorite?
Yeah, it catches everybody. Oh yeah.
It catches you off guard, and it's just a fun one to answer. Ask.
Yeah.
Well, Tress, we appreciate your time, man, and you are always welcome over here on the podcast. Whenever you want to come back, let us know. And if you want one of our T-shirts, we can get that arranged for you. We can ship one too.
Yep. Yes, please. Stat. Our address is very easy to find at the facility, but yes, large. Send me a large stat. I would love that.
Do.
Yes, sir.
We'll get on it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for your time, man. Hope your day goes well.
Yeah, you too, man.
Yes, sir. That's been everything on the AnythingOU podcast with your boy Chris and Drew. As always, we appreciate you guys for stopping by and watching our show. We love you guys. And Drew, you got anything you want to leave the people with?
Hey, that was a fun video with Mr. Tress. We wish him luck this year and as he punts for the Commanders. But hey, as always, thank you so much for your likes, for your follows, your subscribes, all that. If you haven't yet, go down below, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications. We always got some stuff dropping every week, Sundays and Wednesdays. Hey,
and thank you guys for 500 subs. We appreciate you guys.
Yes, that is awesome. That is another milestone for us. Keep them coming. Share it with your friends. We love the support. Hey, we couldn't do this without you. We can't say that enough. So thank you guys so much. We love y'all out there, and stay tuned for more stuff. And as always, go over to hornsdownshop.com, grab you some swag, and hey, Boomer.
Sooner.